a lot of ads. We could always just fall back on YouTube. So yeah, let me go ahead and look for the stream links. And that was Kohi, so we at that 124. Right, think we are good over there. Perfect. All right, now let me find these links. Maybe it's just gonna be under Capcom Fighters. Yeah, let me try that. And then we'll switch scenes. Capcom Fighters stream starting soon. Is it? Yep. Alright. So there are ads over there, but I could always just push the YouTube as the YouTube stream, because usually sometimes one or the other is for some reason delayed. And obviously I don't want to watch the thing delayed. Live. Yeah, we won't know until the stream actually starts, since it's sitting on like the same kind of starting soon screen. But yeah, depending on how long this goes, we might switch it up and play some Deadlock. Get a couple Street Brawl great games in, and then I gotta figure out the schedule for next week. I think Fate Trigger, they're finally getting their like very final server slam, like open beta thing. I think that goes on for a few days starting next week. I think on Friday I'll be playing it. And then the week after that is crazy. We got ourselves, let me take a look. Yeah, so the week after, Fields of Mystery is getting that update for like the mines. I don't know if I'm gonna check it out, because at this rate I might as well just wait for the full release and just do like a full fresh save, you know? The expedition opens for Arc Raiders, but that goes on for a week. It's not gonna go until like March 1st or something. What else? Resident Evil Requiem is still out there. I'm not sure if I'm gonna play it or not. On the same day as the Marathon Server Slam. And then like a day after that is the Avatar fighting game playtest. I applied for it, but you know how it goes. We'll see if I can get into it, since I don't have any connections or whatever. So I gotta figure out what to do for this coming week. Ooh, it looks like it's starting. Let me go ahead and switch now. Wait, this is bootleg.
We've got a juicy stream coming up for you.
They're not in person. They're just watching a stream. It's a stream of a stream.
He is across the pond. And I haven't held his hand in a little while because we haven't commentated in a bit. But Vicious, talk to me, my brother. How are you feeling? Talk to me.
First and foremost, I'm so happy to have you on the other side of this virtual screen, Jammers.
Let's see which one is ahead.
Expertise is very much
That's about the same.
So
just keep it as is.
Does it feel good to hear your voice? To be a part of this very special stream, right? The seeding stream has now commenced officially, coming in from a Japanese broadcast to you guys, giving you the English rundown of what's to come for this year's big dance. And,
so they're just gonna be talking about what Aru and them are gonna be showing?
Pretty much ready for CAPCOM CUP 12.
Because last year I think they had was it Vicious and Rob TV in the studio.
So it really is kind of exciting to see how this all pans out.
Yeah, it has been a long, competitive, strenuous, and exciting journey for a lot of the players, and probably us as viewers as well.
Man, I still can't get over. You can't even watch the finals unless you pay.
Very soon, early March,
oh.
You guys are going to find out what all these 48 players have been up to, but also who they'll be facing off. Because remember, there can only be one champion.
I haven't kept up with
to get through in
Street Fighter 6 in a while.
stream, and
Pretty much
hopefully
since
you
the
guys
last
stick along
offline
for the ride.
qualifier. I was like, all right, I'm done.
Vicious will
Didn't
guide
keep
you
up with
through.
Street
Really looking
Fighter
forward to
League
it,
at
like you
all.
said.
I think Daigo's in there.
Yeah, man, it's
With Fudo
there's
and
something
Lashar.
more, exciting kind of like
Akito.
feeling the
Stack
energy going
team.
into the competition, but also being able to see it like in full effect on the stream and also in person. Being able to see these players hopefully get their travel issues sorted out and make it there safely and in one piece over the Ryogoku Kokugikon. I am just
Whoa,
like,
bars.
so ready for it. And at the same time, I really want to see what stirs up on the internet in regards to like character selection. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to know.
I wonder if there's going to be another
who
group
is going
of
to be up in
death.
arms and who is going to be cheering for their latest and greatest when it comes to like the character selection, but most of all, who finally gets to reap the rewards of that big millie. As it stands right now, 48 total players going into this year's big dance, 8 of them coming from the Premier, 6 of them qualifying via the Premier points. And of course, throughout the entirety of the season, we had the World Warriors going down in weeks after weeks of gruesome battles. We finally determined the big winners. And others, we've had a couple of qualifiers from EWC, the Esports World Cup of this year. We
Man,
had the
I want to
previous
play
CAPCOM Cup World
SF6. I just
champion.
have no
However, we will
reason
put
to
an
anymore.
asterisk on that
Like, I'll try
specifically
Alex
to
when he
talk about
comes
who has
out,
taken their
but
place, as Kakeru obviously has retired.
I'm more
SFL,
looking forward to the balance
big news for them as
changes
well.
than
The champions of the World
Alex
Championship
himself.
making it on to compose of the last and final 4
Then we have to
players going
chill
into
and
this year's
wait
CAPCOM
till
Cup 12.
Ingrid in season 4. And then that'll
Yeah,
be
that
like
was the
do or
interesting
die
one, right?
if
Because Good 8 Squad
I
won
get
it
mega
at the
hype into
SFL
Street
World,
Fighter again,
winning
depending on
SFL
what the
Japan,
characters
then
will be
winning
for the
World
next
Championships
season.
means they didn't have to go through that competitive chaos throughout.
Can't believe
the
it's going to be
last
like
season
potentially
as opposed to
4
the other
years, 4
seasons,
years
actually. So
plus
they were like working on SFL Japan this current season that's just gone.
of me
And,
not playing
cooking up some
Sakura.
other stuff, working on some tech, developing characters, as you said before, Vish, as well. That's going to be a huge thing when we actually go through these players as well. But the Premier winners and the Premier points, guys, well, we had a snippet of what the olden times were like in the offline scene, and we were able to get 14 players out of that. But hey,
I'm
even
pretty
if you
familiar
don't
with
have a
all
really
the
good regular
players. I know
season,
there's a couple handful
doesn't mean
that
you're gonna take the
probably
gold.
not
So
going
I
to know
think these
through
guys,
the
they could be
World
biting their
Warrior
nails,
from
they
certain
could be nervous and
regions
excited,
that
but it's gonna
never
be
really
interesting, 'cause
focused
I'm pretty
on.
sure a lot of these guys will have their eyes glued to the screen to find out who they're actually going to be facing, because they have been preparing, but now they've got to laser in on the opponents in their respective
It's
groups.
cool to see Jammers back though.
Right, and we
Always
get to
like
break down all
Jammers
the players
commentary.
and their means of qualification in terms of like their
So the
status
11th
kind
to
of
the
keeping up with a lot of the
15th.
events that kind of led up to where we're at today. But before we even get into those details, obviously this is the schedule you need to lock in on, starting from March 11th all the way through the 15th.
Let me write that
is what's
down,
gonna go We
actually.
have the first 3 days going into phase
Even
1.
though I'm
where we
probably
get
not
to
gonna
check
be able
out
to watch
the
it.
winners bracket right after we see what happens in the group stage. But for the most part,
March
this is what you're going to be looking forward to during phase 1. Again, this is gonna be a
11.
double elimination format, best of 5, going into all of the
Capcom
phases, or at
Cup
least
12.
going
Was
into
it to
this
the
phase,
15th
where we
or
get to see
16th?
who makes it into top 16 towards the finals, and then obviously we go through the losers bracket on the following day. Same kind of song and dance.
Yeah, this is super important as well.
Top 16 to the
especially leading
final.
into the phase 2 on the day 3.
So
as well. We're looking at how
8
the tallies
groups.
will work out as well. So basically, the players
Just
will
like
have to aim for top spots.
last
so they
2
can
years.
just progress all the way to the top 16 and then work on the final.
Yeah, I wonder if there's going to be a lot of
That's the
friendly
ideal
fire.
scenario. We've seen this in
Because that
Esports World
happened a
Cup,
lot
we'll
last
bring that up
time, and
in a
then
little bit as well. But this is what happens
on top of that,
all,
the
considered tiebreakers too. And as you
overall
can see,
seeding
the top 16 leading to the final
between
So it is
regions.
phase 1,
Plus the group of death.
The winner of that will be going up
Best of
against,
9.
the winner of the
Top
phase
16 is
two.
best
You
of
can see it just
9.
Go out there and pan out. This is going to be very interesting, and there will be a 3rd place match as well. So do keep an eye out for this and pay attention to your groups. Honestly.
Yeah, so a little bit of a spin up, right? Like we have some kind of like traditional senses of a tournament, and then also
Someone
a
in
little bit
chat's
of like
like, group
mix-up
of death
coming in
hype.
from like EWC, where we go into phase 2, right? We want to make sure to differentiate like the differences here. So in phase 1, I know the slides had come at you really, really quickly. So again, 12 groups of 4 players. During this entire set of phase 1, during this double elimination tournament, again, we're getting the 12 big winners to proceed automatically into day number 4. However, in between, right, day 2 consists of like the losers bracket as well. However, in day 3, the 4 groups of those 3 players, having 12 players total, right, there's going to be a big round robin scenario going down, and this is what kind of goes down throughout that schedule. So again, group phase, stage
Where's the
Group
Raw
stage, phase
TV?
1 backwards, going on Wednesday and then Thursday, and then Friday is going to be day 3, so on and so forth. There's going to be so much more going on.
I still like. It's cool to just see the Millie for first place, but the prize gap is still ridiculous. Wasn't it like a $900,000 money match or something crazy like that? One of the years. Ryan Hart, Aru, Sherigenics Jammers, Vicious St. Cola,
The
yipes.
commentators or the talent squad, this is what's going to happen. They have got the full.
Dang, they got
Japanese lineup
Storm
here, as well as the
Kubo on
full
the
English
beat.
broadcast, and surprise, surprise, there are a couple of new faces on here. I got to give a big shout out.
Yeah,
to
Reinhardt
David
did really
Damascus,
well last
who's made it
year.
onto the lineup here, and he'll be joining on the English side of things. And huge shout outs to Storm Kubo for making it on the
Storm
Japanese side
Kubo.
here. Oh, okay, this is important. Talk to him. Talk to him.
So again, we were talking about like the big things going into Capcom Cup, Street Fighter League as well. All of these tie into the Esports World Cup, right? For 2026, the top 4 of Capcom
Oh, this
Cup
is-
this year, the
Oh, they're already
every
prepping
division
for
of Street Fighter
EWC
League,
next year.
from JP,
Or this year.
US, and EU,
This year now.
they're all automatically qualified into the big dance
Top
over
4.
at EWC this
So
coming
even if you don't win the
year.
big thing, getting
That's
qualified
16
for
players
this
total.
is
That is a
automatic.
huge amount of competitive integrity right
Be a
there.
top
I'm
4.
very excited considering like
Oh,
how
and
heavy-handed
all the
champs
champions.
are from each and
Oh,
every
that's
Street
sick.
Fighter League. That is already kind of stacked.
Well, this is interesting because you notice with, obviously you were commentating it with St. Cola on the English side of things, you have Team Reject actually making it there. So Tokido, Fudo, Daigo, some of the biggest hitters in the
Fudo.
FGC. Not only are they going to be part of SFL Worlds this coming month, but also
here we go.
they're going to be there for the EWC.
All
all the
right.
Daigo, Tokido fans and Fudo fans are
So it
gonna
looks
be,
like it avoids a lot of friendly
loving it
fire.
up, just waiting to watch their guys. Ooh, okay.
Was it last year where there's like 2 or 3 like North American representatives in the
As
group?
we get ready for the actual group draw, this is what the
I think Cabo is in the same group as Meta or
The players
something.
are going to be divided into the groups. 20 offline tournament winners, all the World Warrior winners divided by the region. One of the biggest things that you notice here, right? You kind of see the World Warriors and their regions kind of specified in each and every one of these groups. One of the biggest things that we do have to highlight is that even if there's a group with the players from the same region, there will not be a change taking place. However, they're doing their due diligence and trying as hard as possible to spread out as many of the
So it
tournament
could
winners
still
as
happen,
possible to make it as
but the
fair
chances
as they
are
can for all
a
these
lot
players.
slimmer than last year.
Yeah, so just to give you a quick example, because Blard's qualified via points on the offline leaderboards, if he gets paired up with the Shaka 22, they're part of the same team, they're part of the same team at SFL US. If they're in the same group, we're literally strictly specifying this now. They can't really change that because they
Yeah,
actually
that's
have
just
done
how it
a
is.
strict seeding here as well. But looking at this, we do have the phase 1 bracket draw here. As you can see, just to repeat ourselves again, 4 players in each group. And obviously the winner, that's what we're focusing on with day 1. The winner
Double
will advance to
elimination.
the final day or day 4 for top 16 leading up to the CAPCOM Cup Championship. And in the losers bracket, the winner of that will be advancing to phase 2 in the round robin format. So all of these guys, they've got everything to play for, and they've got extra chances to kind of stay close and in the money for CAPCOM Cup 12.
Quite scary going into like the very, very first day where you actually get to face some of the elimination processes, or at least some of the elimination matches between days 1 and days 2, going from winner side, going to loser side, all to bring it together for the big round robin part into day 3. As exciting as that is, I feel for the players, man. This is actually like, you gotta gun it for like the strongest performance possible. Obviously, that's what everybody's looking forward to for Capcom Cup, but at the same time, it's like,
Yeah, it
you
looks
never
like
know
it
what you're
goes
gonna get when
to
it
the
comes to this lottery
15th.
draw.
No, legit, honestly. And this
CAPCOM
is important as well. We
Cup.
do have ticket information up on the screen right now. So the offline viewing tickets for CAPCOM Cup 12 and the Street Fighter World
Man,
Championship
it's
is
gonna
now
take them
on
like
sale.
45
Day
minutes to
4
do
and day
seating
5, word on the street
to get
is
to the seating.
they're already sold out. So if you want to get a ticket, please head on over to the official website for more info here. But I'm telling you, these tickets were selling like hotcakes, man. I've got to tell you what. And this is super important.
You just get a
as well. You
Rashid
can see
color.
on screen there with more information. And I'm seeing there's a Capcom colors for Rashid. Is that right? I think so. Is that right?
That is correct. That's right. Rashid's going to be getting a brand new colorway. It's going to be EX1 for his initial outfit. Outfit number 1 is going to be given to the people that have bought the tickets for the viewing of Capcom Cup 12, for the finals tournament, for SFL's World Championships as well. There it is. We do get the full distribution in English, and we get to see
Special color
the
for
exact dates
Rashid.
and how to actually go about doing so. Right? I know everybody's been up in arms. This is what's they've been doing a lot
Crazy.
in terms of, like,
$10
trying
to
make
watch
the
something that's
shift
been
for the
free.
appeal of everybody as much as possible. But if you guys want to check it out, the viewing platform is on SPWN. I believe it's Spawn on that QR code. But also, if you guys haven't done so already, right? You guys have been tuning in for a good amount of time now throughout the year on Capcom Fighters. There's a plethora of different channels both on YouTube and Twitch for the respective regions. If you guys haven't done so already, be sure to like, subscribe, and make sure to comment on
like
a
and
lot of the things, a
describe.
lot of the videos that you have seen to make your voice heard going into the upcoming season. And one of the biggest things going into the first 3 days, co-streaming is allowed for a lot of the big timers out there, those that have been enjoying their time with the Capcom Cup and following it very closely, or even for the casual audience that just want to stream it for the
So
folks
the
in their
11th to the
Discord with their
13th, you can go
buddies.
stream.
You guys can do so for the first 3 days.
First 3
There's
days.
been a lot of questions asked about this one, but they have heard you, and they said co-streaming is allowed. But then, of course, on the
13th, put down co-stream. Okay. Maybe we'll do that if we got nothing going on.
You can actually watch
At least we can watch groups and stuff.
with the new mode.
But I think top
installed
16 and
recently.
obviously the
It's actually
finals
pretty
is
cool. I'm
paywalled.
actually curious to kind of see how that will work. We're going to be in Japan talking about this, but it is going to be interesting to see how it unfolds. So, there we go. Live streaming with the trial at the Battle Hub there. And this is a trial, so there may be cases where the stream would be cut off several times. And again, the fact that, like, the developers have been able to put in these new features, not just for the game itself, but to help watch events in the game and test on it here is a blessing
Merch.
in itself. But then a blessing in itself as well is there's going to be new
All this Chun-Li merch.
available at CAPCOM CUP 12. So you are coming down as a spectator. There will be shops plotted in and around the Ryu Goku Kikan. And then look, you can see the new jackets there. There's going to be a
You Goku
pillow.
Goku
There's
Kikan.
a passport case, which I might have to pick up. There's plenty of merch on deck there for you guys. So if you've got a little bit of
The
spending money,
pillow.
come on. Oh, okay. Hamako's actually showing the Capcom Cup cushion right now.
I actually might want to get that. Last year was the Akuma one. I gave that to my nephew. He loves it. But the jacket, though, I am very much so looking towards to the jacket. I know Graft has been doing a really, really great job in partnership with Capcom, developing a lot of different ideas and approaches towards like Capcom artwork. So I really love like the spin of things towards the merch. These are going to be heavily available throughout the event itself. I know the way that they distribute it. Oh God, yo, look at that patch. Tell me that's not godlike, Jammers. Tell me that's not godlike, though. So,
Yeah.
Can
the
we
way
see the
they
back
do
of
it,
that? I
like,
want
the
to see
way
the
they,
back of that.
it was
I like the
Chun-Li on
pillow
back of
more.
it, actually. He was showing it off just a little bit. They have like a stock per day, right? So even if it sells out on a certain day, you're just gonna come back tomorrow, the following day, and they'll have like a brand new stock. They try to split it and then divvy it up as much as possible, as to make it as fair as possible to like as many of the casual audiences.
Oh
as
man, they're just
possible.
going
So
over merch.
I'm
Come on.
really looking forward to seeing everybody.
I could
kinda,
have
like,
started
get their
this
hands on the
stream
brand new
later,
merch.
like
I still have
7
my jacket
p.m.
hanging on my door right now, and I always have it in sight because it's mad comfortable and I love it. But also, yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing all of the more comfortable, casual kind of merch being brought to you in partnership with Mizuno. So something that I haven't really been able to see before.
Dang,
was
I could have just been
a
playing
lot of
Deadlock
the
and then
Capcom
just
Cup
switch
12
over
have been coming out. A lot of the like Street Fighter
to
League
the
Japan,
seeding
EU,
when they do
has
it.
been coming out with a lot of collaborations thus far. I'm really looking forward to at least like checking this out and possibly snagging myself a couple of hats, couple of shirts, etc.
Yeah, I can definitely see myself with the zip hoodie there because I'm a huge fan of my hoodie. Been upgrading my wardrobe a little bit recently, but I still got room for 1 or 2 hoodies and maybe a nice little Capcom Cup tee there as well. But obviously, big shout out to all the collaborations involved with the Capcom Cup itself. And you can see on here as well, big shout out to all these collaborative teams here as well. All these teams were actually involved in Street Fighter League in some way, shape, or form. You are actually able to check out these team booths even if you don't have it's accessible without a ticket. Sorry, I got my tongue tied. But this is super important. There's going to be plenty of stuff for you to check in and around the stadium there in terms of merchandise and just seeing what's involved in the world of Street Fighter is really good.
I wonder if Kakeru is gonna
And of course,
be here just for that. I know he's been going through like the health stuff and had to drop out of a lot, but
PC setups for not even just the events.
wonder if he could make it at least to like the big event and then compete.
Throughout Tokyo, I've noticed this piece of machinery being involved in esports high school over in Shibuya. A buddy of mine actually runs this, PC as well to stream and play Street Fighter 6. It is definitely the other real, but it's also the real deal when it comes to like the big partnerships that have been going on in the realm of the fighting game community itself and esports. So big shout outs to Galeria for being a very pivotal part of the FGC this year and for many more years to come, hopefully.
Of course, as well, you can see it on your screen right now. There is a campaign for Street Fighter 6, the model and the original design postcard and screen background will be included, and I believe it is up until March 31st.
I'm ready to stream his Capcom Cup.
So again,
Chat funny.
11 p.m. Japan standard time on March 31st. So you've still got a month and a half to kind of get in on the action here and be excited for that. So again, you can see the amount of work they've been putting into it. There you go. Hamako is. Oh, that's cold.
Tell me that's not fire.
Okay. Oh, you know what? Because I did like the Akuma and Bison on the back of the Capcom Cup 11 ones, but this one. Oh.
Can I critique something real quick, Jammers? So last year, it looked a little bit like an enlarged screen grab. This one feels like it's specifically designed for these types of jackets in terms of like the way the ratio is.
Oh, they're hyping up jackets.
The framing of the artwork. Hold on. That bottom detail too of it saying Street Fighter on the interior of the jacket is kind of cold. By the way, that's kind of cold.
Okay.
There's a lot.
I see that.
There's definitely a lot going on with the artwork, and I'm a fan.
I'll tell you.
Here we go. Let's get to this.
Vicious is the fashion police, so if he's approving of it, we're good to go. Anyway, what we're good to go with is these 48 players that have qualified for CAPCOM Cup 12. You'll be seeing them in less than a month's time. You can see it there, as Vicious alluded to earlier. The Premier and Premier
so Angry Birds taking
the World Warrior
Kakeru's spot, I guess.
Qualifying from their respective regions. Of course, the EWC defending champion Shanghai is there, and of course,
here we go, the good
Angry
stuff.
Bird taking over for Kakeru because he will be the placement Kakeru.
I think I watched every one of these except for the Chengdu offline stream.
Of looking at the Premier tournament winners first, then the Premier point leaderboard, guys. I believe we should be doing the special guests, and then we'll.
And that Fudo run at Blink Respawn was fun. Miki auto qualified since he was like the highest one in that top 8, because everybody else qualified.
Any sense of competitive Street Fighter,
Sahara's a beast.
Who this man is.
The ex Fortnite Pro or whatever. Blaz is ridiculous.
When it comes to Street Fighter history, I know yourself, Rob TV, as well as Senkola. Sometimes Brian F will get thrown into the mix in regards to who actually.
Brian F. The Brian F mentioned.
In that conversation.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I love it. What's that? Look, he's a lightning in a bottle for me. He's literally a lightning in the bottle for me. Men at RD, because it is a very rare occasion. And he still needs to get a Capcom Cup in Street Fighter 6, who's also searching for a Capcom Cup title. He has to be in your top 5 Street Fighter 6 players of all time. He's been shifting characters. He's been developing his mentality. He said some things aren't fun without winning. If you checked out the Reject documentary these guys did leading up to SFL World, SFL Japan Championship. You can see it there. Laser sharp ground game, surgical combos. The precision machine sets his sight on the Capcom Cup title. And he came 3rd last year. And he wants to aim higher. Because if you're 3rd, you ain't a winner. And this man is a winner. Looking forward to what Lashar cooks
I'm
up
curious
this year.
what characters are being played because it's like been the same patch essentially for a year, dude.
The first 3 majors that he's won going into Street Fighter.
I need Alex out already so I can
It
see those
really
patch
is gonna be
notes.
so hard to call
They literally
going
said
into the final
every
big
character
bands.
is getting
Talking about consistency, man.
a change,
I love
but
seeing him
who
around in
knows
regards to, like, his
how
presence on Street Fighter League, but also he
minor or
had quite the
major it'll
presence
be.
over in the States very, very early on. If you had noticed his positioning when it came to some of these big premier tournaments, he had quite the running, right? He was involved in CEO, Combo Breaker, definitely involved in EVO as well. Did a pretty solid job over at
CEO.
EWC, and just overall keeping himself like present in regards to like point accumulation thus far. NL, I'm looking forward to seeing who. I want to say who he's going to be bringing to the table. Right? Although it says Akuma, he still has a couple of other characters under his sleeve.
Well, I mean, speaking of characters,
Blink
under his
Respawn.
sleeve, it is the Blink Respawn winner with Fudo, family man Fudo. We got to give it to him because when I watched this documentary with Fudo in it, he said, I have a greater purpose now that I have a family, and he's coming for everybody.
family buff.
With that Ed, with that DJ. And I tell you what, he's always been one of my sleeper picks for CAPCOM Cup, but he always somehow finishes in and around 9th place. And because he's here, and you will see him in SFL World Championships, I think he's got more of a point to prove. So I think there might be a lot of people looking to avoid Fudo, but then you want to avoid some of these young guns, don't you, Vicious?
Personally, I don't
Blaz,
like any of these guys, but if I had to choose,
Mickey,
would probably
Hinao. I think
win.
Hinao is younger than Blaz.
Had an amazing run over at EVO.
What I remember.
Right, a hallmark run with that Cammy. His first time over at EVO, being able to qualify into the Cup via that tournament at only 17. Insane. With a big finish going into EVO. So I'm really kind of curious. He was a part of Street Fighter League US this year, right? Wasn't able to like fully shake things up over there, but he's also been kind of like practicing more so on the side of his home region, being a part of like the big events out there as well.
Speaking of home regions, this young man here, Sahara, part of Good 8 Squad, he qualified for CAPCOM Cup with Ultimate Fighting Arena with that Ed, arguably the strongest character in the game according to the Japanese community. This documentary, after he qualified, he decided to do his own scene dirty and win World Warrior 3, and he's coming for everybody to stay sharp here. He's been cooking up. I've seen him play some Sagat, I've seen him play some Akuma, but it's very interesting to see what it comes up. But speaking of a Sagat, he's changed.
Sagat. Yeah, didn't Sagat get buffs?
Nagoya-kun coming in from EVO France? That's crazy.
I think they buffed like his Jinrai mix up.
To the plate. I'm calling him Nagoya-kun going forward. Honestly, like there's no way I'm not gonna do it. But he has really shaped the way the character plays. And I'm talking about Sagat. Technically, he kind of did the same thing with Ryu, but he is the defining player for the character Sagat. And I kid you not, he is rocking everybody's boat internationally. He is staying sharp. He has proven that he is more than ready to take on everybody at CAPCOM Cup, especially with that second place finish last year.
But only 2 years younger than him. I wasn't even playing games this good when I was that age, but it is him now. He did win the Fight Club in China, the last premiere.
Ooh, it's going to take a good amount of time because they're probably going to talk about
Deadly Luke, and it looks like according
every
to the
player.
stat sheet, it is correct because he's put a
Yeah, no kidding. It's going to be like an hour, hour and a half
he's
before
got
they
all
start
three of
doing
those
seeding.
characters to 2400 MR. And he's figured out something about Drive Rush that I think only people under the age of 16 have figured out. So I'm actually very curious to see how far he goes and where we see youth versus experience. So if we do get a chance, when we do see Hinao's group, if we can shed some light, if not,
I like this. I like that they brought back the point system. Rewards people that place decently consistent over all the events.
From a big W just a couple of hours ago over at Genesis, and I want to say it's not the W he wanted, but still second place, just falling short to Goichi. He's still looking rather sharp. Majority of the games he's played, although it's not updated,
Kobayan
has been Ryu, so he will have a Ryu ready and willing to throw down this year at CAPCOM Cup. Again, being able to qualify the way that he did, it's no doubt that he's going to be
Momochi's still on
bringing
Ed, Kobayan on Geef.
Momochi's been doing the same thing. He's been practicing a lot of
Heath on, probably still on Marissa and Geef. Dual Kevin, I think, is
but
But
it's
Rashid,
still the same sharp emoji that you're all
Ryukichi.
well used to at this point if you've been following him for a long time. He's got
Think was
Ed under
rocking
his belt.
Ken,
Still, he's
but I
got
think
T-Viper just in
they
case,
switched to Mai.
kind of mess around
I
a little
remember
bit.
right.
But I feel like Ed and JP have been his main two primary picks thus far.
Well, I mean, speaking of someone who was consistent when his character's a little bit off course, it is Kobayan, and I think this guy is going to be a heavy hitter, no pun intended, and a household favorite, simply because he's playing Zangief, and this guy has been trying to get into the cup for a few years, and lo and behold, has he done it. Third place on the Premier points, and he has to be
Mai, Ken, and Ed.
matchups, because he's going to be playing one of the weakest characters in the game. Someone who shifted from one of the weakest characters in the game, quote unquote, is Ryukichi. He's built his arsenal. He's got the Mai now. He's got the Ed. He's using Ken as well. But I tell you what, man, this guy's impressed me throughout this year alone. And I've been loving his streams as well. I'm not sure if you've been catching up with him, Vicious.
I've been seeing a lot of his personal streams. I haven't been able to catch up on some of the events he's been participating in around Japan, but I think his Mai has been very, very sharp from what we've seen over at Street Fighter League. I do want to touch up and see how his Ed is looking right now, but moving over to another person who has changed over to a new set of characters, or at least like one set of characters, I should say. JP has been the pick for Dual Kevin.
What?
He's surrounded by a bunch of Zangiefs. Best believe this is going to be the character.
Dual
that he's gonna
Kevin.
resort to.
Got a
I do believe we
JP
saw him
now.
over at Frosty Faustings, taking down the team tournament with this combination of characters with his teammates as well. So I'm very curious to see it. I mean, look at this. He's already surrounded by two Zangiefs in this picture alone. Best believe he's going to have that JP ready.
He has to, man, and it looks like he's been enjoying the JP as well. But having two high technical characters like Rashid and JP, and his brain's not muddled up, dropping the combos of the set play.
Yep, Beef and Marissa still
for
free design.
progressed and matured over the years, but someone who has matured beautifully into Street Fighter 6 legacy player, coming with the Zangief and Marisa, is Itabashi Zangief. He was in CAPCOM Cup 11, unfortunately didn't make it out of the groups. Now, he did come ninth at EVO Japan, and I think EVO Vegas as well. But the reason he's here, I got to bring this up. I'm sorry, everyone, but I got to bring this up. He done my boy Ending Walker dirty. He had the same amount of points as Ending Walker, but he had better results, so he took the offline spot. But it's good to see him here. He's got a ton of fans, so we got to give it to him. But we got to move on and see our special guests that are qualified.
Zhao Ha.
That's absolutely right. The only person
I
that
and
doing
Bipson.
back-to-back EWC championships. Funny enough, he could have gone for a third title. He got second over at City of the Wolves. But we're talking about Shao Hai being able to take down really, really consistent results. This is actually kind of insane. Wait, I'm tripping. Let me retract that statement. He did win City of the Wolves, and then he won Street Fighter this year. I'm sorry, it's a little bit late for me. But Shao
What
Hai,
the?
qualifying via EWC with a very big "what are you standing up for" moment called out by Ringe and Yipes, man. I'm very excited to see how he's going to perform with that Mai. And then Angry Bird coming into it as the Capcom Cup 11 qualifier because of the fact that Kakuru couldn't make it. Second and third place, respectively, Blaz and Lashar have already qualified through the premiere. So up next after that, Angry Bird placing in fourth, he was the one that qualifies through.
So he was actually not sure of his competitive career this year, because he took a step back for a few reasons. He was still playing and he was learning Ryu at the same time, but then the world blessed him and said, hey, we want you to continue playing, and he picked things up. And you actually saw his Ryu in SFL EU, but then obviously in the late stage of things, he went back to the Kuma and showed us why he's one of the best in the business. Fourth place at Capcom Cup 11. Some of the world's best only took him down by the wayside. But he's coming here with a vengeance. He's won EVO 2023. Can he get a Capcom Cup under his belt? That's the big question mark there for Angry Bird. I've got to talk about this guy, because he's been quiet for a little while. Maybe not in Japan. He's been quiet.
Damn, Hachiku been sticking with Rashid since like
he's been cooking up some
SF5.
I've been keeping an eye on some things. He still has some of the highest practice mode hours recorded on Street Fighter 6. So I'm really looking forward to see what Gachiku cooks up in the Capcom Cup 12. But then we got to look at this.
Yeah, Pugera playing like everybody.
Yeah, another one could be said in regards to Pugera, right? He has a handful of different
Wano's
characters
just
that
a
he's been going
Kuma
through,
still.
not only in Street Fighter League, we saw him in the playoffs, but also on his streams, right? It's kind of a toss-up as to who he's going to pick for certain characters or who he's going to have ready going forward. But as we progress, Kawano, man, he has been so sturdy with his Akuma, and surprisingly so, still sticking with his character. I think he swapped over to Mai just a little bit, but in terms of like tournament
The
mode,
Dawson.
it's going to be the Akuma. Then, of course, YC Mochi making it through via the SFL World Championships. He is still going to be rocking that Dalsum, as he should, because him and Torimeshi have been the only ones really innovating that character within Japan. So I'm very excited to see one of the old heads continuously make it into the big stages. In particular, YC Mochi. I've been watching him for a very, very long time. And I did misspeak earlier, by the way. Xiaohai did get second over at City of the Wolves against Goichi. Let me fix my face. I just wanted to put it out there. But him going into EWC this year, obviously got the big W, hence why he qualified. But yeah, those 4 contenders coming in from the SFL World Championships, Gachiku,
Ending Waka.
all are going to be very
Job
much so
yeah,
keeping
kills you
their
Lex.
strategies safe to the
Juicy
chest
Joe.
when it comes to character selections and certain matchups to be held.
Well, speaking of which, we're going to transition over to the World Warrior qualifiers here. Now, we got... he's UK. He's London born and bred. I'll take him. I've got his passport. I know what his details are like. Lex is going to be representing... They put the US, but they put the K. Remember, K comes for S, so you can put the UK there. It's okay. But he's going to be coming to CAPCOM Cup 12 with the Guile here because he actually got the most consistent results there because the UK was a super region. But then joining him as well, we'll get there in a minute. It should be Ending Walker, which won the regional final.
I think Jabia was playing Terry. Ending Walker, is it still just Ryu?
Almost were able to
Ryu and
fight it out,
DJ?
but MIP were able to take
Ryu.
it. Now,
Kills
you
you
can see
had,
there,
what, Mai
Britain's
and Jury?
right there, undefeated in SFL Europe the regular season. The only time
And he had a
lost, I believe,
Cammy too.
was to Angry Bird. I think that was the only time he lost. I have to double check the stats. But he's come ready. I was with Problem X the other day hanging out. I said, so what's going on? I want to be a fly on the wall with you guys' conversations. But he said, we're making sure he's ready. We've seen him 5-0 Mena in EWC. So Lord knows what they're cooking up for the Cup and what their preparation will be from this point onwards.
Yeah, I wonder if, depending on like the matchup, if it's going to be the Ryu, if it's going to be the Ed, does he have something else ready and prepared? I know he was also participating in a different stream not too long ago, but moving on to Kills You, I feel like this is all of your region right now, Jammers. Like looking at this list, like this is all you all over it. But I love seeing Kills You and his current consistency right now, right? He
Yeah,
qualified
call
via
it my
Warrior,
Jerry and
via
Cammy.
France, Monaco. His transition is actually one to kind of like really talk about, right? He's finally jumped the gun off of Cammy going into the My Train and actually has found exponential progress going into all of the tournaments that he's been a part of.
Yeah, and then we've got Diver coming up next, coming out of the Spain-Portugal region.
Yeah, I don't know much about Diver or Zerna or Yon Angel.
He's coming back with a vengeance now. Ed's been further optimized. He's got more knowledge on the game. So I think he's become a real heavy hitter within the European region. I haven't really been checking his practice regime, but I'm pretty sure you should be as ready as can be. Now here comes... His old nickname in SFL was the Rizzler. He didn't rizz anyone.
The Rizzler.
So he has to bring that nickname over to the CAPCOM Cup. Now, he has got the jury, but once he swapped over to Mai, he was a lot more efficient. He was able to overthrow Takamura. He won plenty of the ranking events in the World War leading up to the regional final. He had to overtake Takamura again.
They need to bring back...
and he did say...
I forgot what's his name from Australia that was playing Chun-Li.
I'm trying to make sure the team
was like
interview him because I'm very worried about what Gen Z lingo
mogging everybody.
And I really don't want him to do that to the Japanese crowd. But he's super excited to go, and he actually can't wait to be in Japan and play his best.
I can't wait to force Ryan Hart to do all the translations for that. Like, you have like the two big separation of generations plus the language barrier. We'll talk about that another time. Yon Angel coming in from World Warrior Germany. I've actually been able to watch him play and kind of study his JP. He is so creative when it comes to not only his pressure, but also like the mix he presents with some of the departure setups that he's had. He also kind of strays away from like the normal like level 2 setups that we've seen like from Japan a bunch of times over. But like,
I think on NA,
I'm actually really excited to see coming in. I didn't realize
Knuckle
that he was,
Doo,
now in Germany for like
Just
the
a
longest
Kid,
time. To be quite honest with you, I was like, wait,
Nephew.
I've seen this name plenty of times in like different regions before.
Sure, probably missing.
His JP was exceptional.
Oh,
Let me show you the
Riddles,
best
I think?
JP
Is Riddles in
with
it?
my
I don't even
guy,
remember.
Juicy Joe. He knows that the juice is worth the squeeze, and he's going to be returning to the CAPCOM Cup, and he will be in SFL Worlds with Team NIP as well. This guy, his philosophy, his mindset, and just his energy as a young player has been fantastic. And you know what? He garnered a massive fan base after his performance to get to top 8 last year. Obviously losing to Angubird. I think he lost to Angubird twice in the top 8. But he's going to be looking to rectify that, getting out of the groups and getting a better.
I still remember when
And shout outs to
Juicy Joe beat Daigo off stream at
one of his
an event, and I was like, what? Who's this dude? Now he's like everywhere.
Juicy Joe, he's been cooking. Right, he's been cooking something. You saw his performance. He was key. He came in clutch for Team NIP in SFL EU. He's gonna have to bring that back to his individual performances. But we do know the bird of bigs, or the biggest of birds. He's here. He's coming back. Oh, hold on. He said. It says he's playing Sagat. No way he put down Sagat he's playing.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Sagat.
I haven't been able to keep up with him on his personal streams. I haven't been able to see the last couple of instances where he was performing with said character. The way he had qualified, obviously, was from the Middle East World Warrior. He had to fight against Hamoud, his Habibi, going into it. And it was
Hamoud.
It was pretty convincing, right? So I'm not too sure if the Sagat pick is going to be something that's going to be beheld during the event itself, and for what matchup specifically, because I think his Rashid is still very much so top notch. But if it says it on the graphic, I'm inclined to believe it.
I'll tell you guys this for
Jabby, yeah, just on Terry.
In Abu Dhabi with Big Bird not too long ago, and I got to drive around in that car everyone was hating on for. It's a beautiful car, by the way. Just letting you guys know. Anyway, Jabby M, South Africa's hero, he returns to the cup once again. Now, he had a legendary set against Tokido, and actually this is a fun fact. I think our most viewed video in fighting game history might actually be him versus Tokido in South Africa. It's got over 2 million. I genuinely think as a match video.
Yeah, BM is like the Tokido killer.
Match of all time, but at least Street Fighter 6 anyway. I'd have to double check that. But he's got the Terry ready, and he is coming to make sure he gets.
Oh, yeah, not Pedro.
He fumbled it, and he knows
Kaba.
SFL EU, but he's ready. But now
I don't know anyone else here.
We now got to talk
I
about
think I heard a Shaka, but mainly just Kaba and not Pedro.
Talk to us, Vicious. Not Pedro.
Not Pedro, right. I actually got the luxury of being able to watch him throughout this season and also see how he had qualified. Obviously, he had qualified via World Warrior Brazil, but he's made plenty of stops within the States showing off that cannon. Now I'm actually kind of curious. I haven't been able to see his Sagat play competitively. However, with the way that he's been practicing with a lot of the Central and South American contingents too, I'm more so thinking it has to be like the Sagat coming through. I'm very much so convinced that he is a very, very solid Sagat player. Going into it though, yo, Kaba, what else can we really say about Men?
I wonder if Kaba still has that jury he was playing.
But by heart and
Remember he
soul.
switched to jury for a little bit.
No, legit. He's a stalwart in the Dominican community, and he's one of the best Gao players in the world. He learns a lot from the other famous Gaos with Lex, Knuckle Doo, Higuchi as well. But you can't forget about this man. He's had some good results, and he's made sure he sticks at the top level and goes toe-to-toe with some of these guys, even if he doesn't get statistically the results that he wants. But he's coming here again with a purpose, and he's got double the trouble to do because he will be with Bandits in SFL Worlds as well. But here's a hidden gem. Armor KOF. I haven't heard too much about it,
DJ.
but he's got a DJ, which means he means business.
It's a pretty big deal, right? He had a shot to go into and qualify CAPCOM Cup last year. He had to face off against Grand Todokai in the, I believe, Central America West Regional Finals. However, going into this year, he had changed it all up upside down, right? His finals versus Destroy Gods was 3-0 for him to qualify. And I got to say, man, he was looking insane with that DJ. So I'm actually kind of curious. He sharpened it up from year 1 into year 2, or I guess year 3, I should say. And now that he's finally qualified, I think he's going to be ready for it. He's had quite the run for all of his World Warriors, like within top 4 every single time, and he's won 2 of them.
Well, speaking of someone else who's emerged from their region, usually I'm used to seeing another
Kimberly.
name come out of this region, but now we've got a new name.
The first
representing
Kim
Mexico,
that we've
and
seen.
That would be Lugabo, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Apologies if I have butchered the name. But he's come with the Kimberly, which means he's going to upset a lot of people. And I hear he's very young as well. Young and fun, playing Kimberly. That is a recipe to ruin someone's day at CAPCOM CUP. I'm really looking forward to what this guy done after his consistent results with his World Warrior.
Yeah, most definitely, right? I've seen only like a handful of like his games, mostly just World Warrior, but I've wanted to study a little bit more, which is why I'm glad we'll have a little bit of downtime after this. But one person that has genuinely impressed the hell out of me, Big Shaka, qualifying the South American East from his World Warrior as one of the Dalsim premier players. Those of you that have been tuning into Street Fighter League US had the luxury of being able to get introduced to this man. When I came into it with Tasty Steve and Ringe and Rob TV, I was thinking to myself, how is Shaka going to perform in this pool of sharks? Easy. He's going to beat the hell out of him, which he did. He had actually a phenomenal run, better than most rookies that join SFL US, with a character that is still heavily underrepresented.
Well, you can see it there. This is another name. I was watching one of the Japanese commentators do a breakdown of some of these players, and this is where he really went into Tashi's representing Venezuela, using a DJ very similar to Armor KOF. Now, he's sponsored by 2Game. We also know who's sponsored by 2Game, which means your information network is pretty big, and you're not here for no reason. So, this is another guy I have seen as a sleeper pick. Young, he's ready. Remember, we saw last year.
There it is, Knuckle Dude, Just a Kid, and Christy.
What's to say that Tashi cannot do the same thing against someone from the veterans in CAPCOM Cup 12? Speaking of veterans, though, talk to him.
What else can we actually say about my man Knuckle Dude? Right, qualifying via World Warrior for US Canada East. He had made that transition over to Mai. He had fully locked in. He put away all of the Pokemon cards for Street Fighter League US and for the continuation of his road to CAPCOM Cup 12. He said it on stream. I'm not making it up. He stopped pulling packs, and then immediately after, I think it was like 2 or 3 months afterwards, he opened a couple of packs, but who's to really judge him? Knuckle Dude is easily one of the more like defining characters that we have in the FGC, right? One of the premier players, one of the most talented players that we could ever ask for within his region. I think he's still pretty much
Carrying Mai still for Just a Kid.
With the handful of different events. He was also at Frosty's, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm looking forward to seeing
the
him play
Stairmaster.
Formerly known as Just a Kid, I should say. It's full on Jack now. The Stair Master is what they're calling him now in Japan. You know that?
That's what I just said,
you give this guy too much camera time, it gets to his head, and then you kind of live off that personality you've kind of created for yourself. I don't blame him. If you're good and they put the camera in front of you, live it up. He's doing it. He's bringing the jury. He's brought the Mayas back up as well, but he wants to make sure he performs better than he did last year. Now, this is an interesting name because he qualifies via US Canada West. And the last time he was at CAPCOM Cup, I was actually there in attendance. When I actually sat down and thought about it, I was actually there in attendance. So it's actually good to see Chris Tatarian returning to the Cup.
7 years since last
He's coming back
CAPCOM appearance.
He has taken down other CAPCOM Cup competitors, even within the realm of this year, right? We've had JB, who's been a part of the big stage, Nephew, both within the realm of their respective World Warrior runs. And they were very convincing W's, by the way. This man, Chris Tatarian, had also taken the opportunity to travel out to Japan, study under Momochi and a handful of other players coming in from the Bandits camp to ensure that he is ready for not only that ridiculous
Travis Styles, isn't it? That's who I was thinking of.
CAPCOM Cup and also being a significant part of SFL for the band.
Travis Styles is
Moving
back.
into even more of the World Warrior qualifiers coming in from Asia and Oceania. First and foremost, VX Bao. Listen, man, I don't know what characters he's going to be bringing up every single time. You can see it right there. M. Bison, Ed, Mai, all very
Creepy
well-rounded,
nuts.
But I feel like he hasn't found his big shining moment just yet, right? He's been dominant short in his region over in Asia for the points. But I want to know what he's going to do now to fix, I guess, his strategies, or at least like what he's going to be bringing, what type of presence he's going to have with these characters in the lieu of the other Eds, the other Mai's going forward.
Well, bear in mind with VX Bao, just quickly, he actually didn't make it out of groups last year because of a game differential with Broski. Shout out to my boy Broski. So he's going to be looking to change that this year. But he is a real world traveler, gallivanting the world. He hadn't need to gallivant the world this time around because he could stay at home in the comfort of his own home and qualify there. Is man like Jawa using the Mai. I was actually surprised when I saw his name qualify because he is a very strong player, but the Chinese scene has stepped up immensely throughout Street Fighter 6, and there are names that overshadow his name. But
The
fact
Rain
that
Pro's
he
still
emerged
on
victorious there was able to
Guile.
qualify is really beautiful to see, and he done it via the regional final. So his
I think
consistency
Hot Dog was
and
on
his persistence with the experience
Ibsen?
of 10, 15 plus years in Street Fighter alone, that's going to be something that people can't sleep on.
Rain Pro on Guile and
And this
Bipson.
was kind of like a half and half, right? Because you got Rain Pro over in your side of the pool every so often, your side of the pond, I should say. But technically coming in from Hong Kong, right? He had actually qualified via World Warrior Asia East. He had to face off in the slew of different World Warriors there, including Hot Dog. He has been in that grand finals, for the last 2 weeks of the Asia region, if I'm not mistaken, and had qualified via the points. Just so dominant as well. He also had to face off against Mickey, if I'm not mistaken, during the very first one. But in terms of his overall performance over at the World Warrior, it's been a very sturdy average of
Still
first place,
Bipson.
first to third.
Sagat as well, I guess.
Rain Pro's a serious competitor, man, so don't sleep on him. But also from his hometown as well is Hot Dog returning to CAPCOM Cup. Now, he has been practicing Sagat recently. Myself and Vicious are going to sound like parrots here because a lot of the community are practicing Sagat in preparation for the Cup. But his main character is M. Bison. He had a crazy match in Group A against Punk last year, but he's coming back and making sure, again, another player who wants to outperform what he did last year and hopefully get into the big money. But this guy,
Sea
keep an eye on
Viper.
him because I play a certain
so
secret
sick.
agent in Street Fighter myself.
He's so sick, Jammers.
Dude,
Brother,
he's
his
got
Sea
some-
Viper is mad aggressive. He's got some crazy setups too that are so
Dedicated
difficult to
Sea
contest against,
Viper
bro.
with little
When he
matchup
dishes
experience,
out
he
damage,
arrives as a
makes sure
true
it hurts.
unknown
He has
variable.
all the Twitter tech rolled up into one bunch. And I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm also studying the hell out of this guy because I'm also playing the same secret agent. I'm very much so excited to see Dak Korgi represent this character, Sea Viper, and also representing himself from South Korea.
Because he's playing a volatile character, it's a double-edged sword here for me. Because I need to see who he's going to be paired with. That's my biggest concern with him. But hey, he's going to be representing.
Ain't no one trying to
Korea
watch a
there,
Gucci.
South Korea specifically. So I'm very excited to see what he does with Sea Viper. But hey, this guy, I love it. I was watching his stream when he qualified, and he had no idea that he qualified after he won. But it is Higuchi. Look, he's a veteran at this point. We've been watching him since he's probably like 17, 18. He's now in his early mid-20s, and this guy, he redefines solidity. And the fact that he done it through the hardest region to qualify with the World Warrior Super Region for Japan, you will be seeing Higuchi in his first ever CAPCOM Cup. Can you believe that we're saying that? His first ever CAPCOM Cup appearance. And does he want to make it a
I wonder if
memorable one?
Travis Styles still playing, Chun.
When the time comes down to it.
Yeah, I still remember watching that replay, and I was getting kind of emotional for him because, yeah, like as much as he was in disbelief, all the other commentators are like, "Yes, really, you've made it." They were trying to make side comments, and I thought it was like a lovely, really wholesome time watching that stream. But also, So I never realized that, like, I followed this guy for a very long time on Twitch. I forgot who he was using
Incho,
initially,
another
but watching him,
Terry.
like, transition over to
Ken.
Terry. That's what it was, right? So I had found this Terry stream randomly, but I couldn't read the letters on it. I didn't realize that was the same guy I've been following for so long. Kincho, representing himself over from the World Warrior events. These were insane. You were talking about it earlier, right? One of the hardest regions to qualify out of. He had done it against Tori Meshi, right? Beating the brakes off of him with Terry. And I was, you know what? I was like, yo, everything that he shows off on stream, he's very transparent about like what he's practicing and what characters he's preparing for. I'm very happy to see him on the big stage. I have never really seen him at like a big time event. So it's going to be interesting to see how he performs.
Another name we got to see who's going to be interested to see how he performs. He returns to CAPCOM Cup once again, representing Singapore. Beautiful country, by the way. If you haven't been there, please go check it out. It is an absolutely beautiful country, one of the best airports in the world. But it is bravery. He's coming back to the Cup. Now, normally when we talk about Singapore, we think of Brandon, we think of Sian. But bravery is the guy that's always showing up at the Cup in recent times, Vicious. So we can't keep sleeping on this dude. His playstyle, one of the most explosive, one of the most aggressive guys we have in the scene. And sometimes that does let him down, but it's a surprise a few people. But speaking of surprises, I think this guy is the biggest surprise of them all.
Elena, Jamie, Luke.
Coming from South Asia is Raihan, I believe that's how you
Jamie and
pronounce it.
Elena.
He's using modern Elena. That's what we
Modern
saw when he
Elena.
qualified. But who really knows modern Elena?
I couldn't tell you, not like one single fact about modern specifically, right? In terms of the Elena choice, I'm very excited to see him play because his biggest competitor was also a CAPCOM Cup qualifier seat, Anik, right? There have been multiple instances where they had to face off against each other over at their World Warrior region, and it was easily in C Anik's favor up until the moment of the grand finals where he busted out the big Elena in back-to-back big W's against both, like, I think it was Akuma and Bison, so very excited to see it. Who is that model up on my screen?
Travis Styles.
I'm very happy to see that he had qualified.
Welcome
towards the
back.
latter half of the year. Easily one of the most like entertaining
Mayan
people to watch,
Chun.
in terms of like the tournaments they hold out over in the Oceania region. I love the fact that he's also transitioning over to his Chun-Li, obviously extremely sturdy, but seeing him have fun with his character, it feels great. I love seeing him in back-to-back CAPCOM Cup. Well, not back-to-back, but just another CAPCOM Cup performance.
Yeah, his last appearance was CAPCOM Cup 10, and of course,
Ooh, he made it through
was
everybody.
there. He needs more firepower now, and he's got the firepower. He lost to Seoul last year, I think, for CAPCOM Cup, or qualified for CAPCOM Cup. But this is what it is turning out to be. Look at that, 13 players are representing Japan on home soil, by the way. That's the most important thing I'm going to mention here. 13 players on home turf. So the noise from the crowd in that arena is going to be erupting. But there are fans of each and every player here from around the world. Ending Walker has a massive fan base in Japan. Blast, that is ever so grown. Juicy Joe, ever so growing. The Birds, they're with Tokido, and Daigo and Fuda, they're associated with them. So a lot of these guys have got Japanese fans, but international fans as well. So really looking forward to seeing the energy that's coming into it. But Vicious, I believe we got word from the voice.
All right, we're finally starting.
We're waiting for.
It took an hour.
Ooh,
It took an
man.
hour to get to the group draws finally.
Actually
It's
gonna
not
be,
even the main
Gacha
stuff.
mode on, starting with
This is just
Hanago.
for
Now,
Street
this is
Fighter
the best
League.
part
It's
about
not even the
our
main
jobs, is that now
group draw
the
that I'm
internet can't
wanting to
go after
watch.
us in terms of any sort of death bracket that happens. Shout outs to our predecessors, Rob TV, Brian F, my man Ringe. I know you guys had to handle it, and I'm glad that you did the way you did. And obviously the energy is missed. But now you know you guys can all blame Aru and Hamiko and the entire JP production if there's a group of death, right? So thank you guys for taking the initial sacrifices, and your work is definitely missed and appreciated. That is for sure.
That's crazy. How empathetic or how sympathetic of you? He's like, yeah, I understand, painful job, but it's your fault, not mine. Anyway,
But this is the breakdown, right? We're gonna be drawing from the gacha machine, or I guess the transparent box of impending doom. But as it pans out, right, we still have to go through all of the offline competitors, which are all the participants in this box right now. So it's going to be a one-by-one thing. We're going to go from Group Group A all the way to L, if I'm not mistaken. And going into right now, Hamiko doing his best gotcha machine impersonation. Pretty well done. I got to say, his form is top-notch.
All right, just to mention as well, it will be from, I believe, Group A through to Group H will have 2 offline players featured in them. And then from Group I to L, we'll only have 1 offline player. But the name's coming out. What's his
first
name?
one.
Yeah, he's making sure that he doesn't...
Oh no, this is the main stuff. This is the main stuff.
What did that say?
Zhao Ha.
What a way to start.
Zhao.
No. You can't start the day like that. You cannot
Group
start the
A.
day with the EWC champion.
All right, hold on. Can I break the fourth wall a little bit? Am I allowed to break the fourth wall? So they were practicing this just to make sure that everything went like according to plan, so that Hamiko like went through the motion, and even like one of the stagehands like in the production team was like trying to check out all the names and all that. So they handed the first ball to Hamiko during the rehearsal, and it was Xiao Hai first. That's the second time he got picked first.
Oh,
Kawano.
okay. Kawano
Group B.
is gonna be the first name in Group B. Okay. So remember, we knocked these names off because there's a lot of guys here. It will start to get interesting when there's 2 names in a group already. That's when it will start to get really interesting.
Of course. This is just the preliminaries.
Mena RD.
RD filling in for Group C as the first competitor. I can't even remember what the death bracket was last year, because I'm looking at like the groups right now, and I still feel like all of them are pretty stacked, but hard to tell.
There was one with Zhao Hai, Kills You, Juicy Joe, Knuckle Do. I can't remember what the
Group
other
G,
person was. Like.
that's what it was. Yeah,
That was
so it was
the-
like
that was
Juicy
the
Joe,
dangerous
Xiao
one.
Hai, Kills You, Kaba, Knuckle Do, and Nephew.
That's the one.
I don't know. Group E had Fudo, Meta RD, Limestone, Chrissy CH, Mr.
NL. The sound effect every time.
NL steps up there. Oh, also, again, I'm probably going to regurgitate this a few times. Remember, no changes to the groups, even if the players are from the same region. So we've seen NL there. If for some odd reason someone else gets there that he knows, we can't change it because they've officially.
Dual Kevin.
Right on. Dual Kevin. Midwest, stand up for your boy. Now, one of the biggest changes also that we never really had the time or chance to mention, obviously you see all of these groups. Last year we only had from A to H, right? Going in from A to L this time, we have 4 players per group, right? In comparison to the 6 we had last year.
I like that the names get faded out on the left. Angry Bird.
Angry Birds. Okay. This is going to be interesting. He's going to be in Group F. Yeah. So he's going to be paired with a South American and someone from the Asia region. I think that's also important to highlight as well, actually. Because when you drop down to the bottom half, the region will change. Yeah. Drop down because, again, the North Americans will be in Group J.
Hella groups.
L as well. Interesting.
And you have one less offline competitor to worry about, right? It's like if there's any sort of like accolades to really consider, it's those that have traveled throughout the season for some of these really stacked and heavy-handed offline events. Going in for Group G.
Gachiku.
It's in the name, baby. Group G for Gachikun. Starting things off at the top. Now he has to face off against another offline competitor, another Central and South America competitor, as well as Asia and Oceania. So there is a chance, obviously, for him to face off against another Japanese player, right? All things considered, we saw like the big representation, 13 players overall coming in representing Japan.
Yes, 13. It would be kind of funny if 2 Ryu players got in the same group or 2 Ed players got in the same group. I think that'd be pretty funny.
It's possible. You have Fudo and Sahara.
Grupo
If you think about it in terms of a
Lashar as
premier
well.
tournament, and Lashar.
Is that Lashar?
Yeah. You know? Okay, so that's not happening anymore. He owns his own group, Group H. It's definitely Lashar. It's funny that you say that because like I always forget like he is from South Korea, but he's been like living in Japan for the last like I think this whole year, if I'm not mistaken. So it's wild to say. But he gets his own group, so that possibility no longer happening for Group G. But everybody else in the Group H side, I wish you the best. I wish you the best.
I wish you the best.
Dude,
He
I'm
is so
telling you,
evil.
man.
He's vicious. He's literally vicious. No pun intended. I'm dead. Oh, hold on.
Bonku.
Oi.
Okay.
So, the
At least there's no
second
team
American
kill.
chosen thus far, if I'm not mistaken.
He avoided
And also
Group
with
JK
a region
now.
of his own, or sorry, a group of his own that doesn't have another offline qualifier. He gets the EMEA choice, Central and South America, and Asia and Oceania. Pretty interesting.
Fudo still hasn't been called, nor has he now. I'm interested. I'm interested.
Same with Sahara as well.
Mickey.
Okay.
I like that.
Mickey.
Back-to-back picks
Okay.
on 2 camis thus far.
Hmm.
At least it's not like camis in the same group. Not trying to, not trying to jinx it. I'm gonna knock on wood just in case, Going into Group K.
And now,
There he is.
Young Jit.
Talk to me.
He's one of my dark horses. I think he can go really far. So I'm just curious to see. Because his roster, they're Shoto, well, Luke Shoto-esque, but he's got Ryu Nakuma. People should be worried about this kid. And because he's qualified via offline, now the EMEA slot from a World Warrior, as well as a North American player, has to deal with him. Who's the next one?
Itazan.
All right.
Same goes for him. I don't know how to really classify him right now. I haven't been able to stay in tune deeply with his current performances, or at least on his stream. He'll play ranked, he'll practice out. He did have quite the performance over at SFL Japan. But Zangief and Marisa for Itabashi Zangief has been in a really interesting spot for him, but he's still qualified, right? He's here into CAPCOM Cup 12. I just want to know what he's going to do with the rest of his bracket going into it. So we'll see. We'll see if the gods favor him in terms of the matchups he actually wants to play against.
Okay. Now,
All right, back to
as we
Group
said
A.
before, going from Group A to Group H, it will feature 2 offline players. So, Zhao Hai was the first one, the EWC defending champion, but who will be joining him from the remaining offline names here? Every group's going to be deadly in its own right.
Alas, and Zhao Hai, no way.
Oh, no!
No.
You're
Dude,
Way,
Zhao Hai
dude.
Blazer always at it.
Crazy.
That's
crazy.
No.
You can't do that. You can't. You can't. Thank you guys for tuning into the stream. We gotta go. Hey, if
No.
there's any death group,
That's messed up.
it's not even just these 2 players. It's the fact that they were just playing each other. They were just playing off against each other a few days ago.
They
It was
can't
the
get away from each
GTW
other.
New Year Championship, bro. I'm sure the commentators are saying the same thing.
Udo and Kawano.
Okay.
Ah, team kill.
What is going on? Do you know what? If you want to add salt to
don't.
injury, put Momochi in that group. With Mena right now, put Momochi in that group. Please, please. If Momochi comes out, I'm cutting the camera.
Oh, the Dawson
I
player.
thought you said Mochi? I didn't realize you said
No, I said
Momochi.
Momochi. I said
Okay,
Momochi.
I thought you said Mochi. I'm like, excuse me? You are a warlock. That is crazy. I thought you called it. I was about to say, I have no affiliation or association with this man. Jammers, Twitter, get him. I would have done the whole thing.
Whoa.
Sahara.
Okay.
Group D a little spicy.
Okay, so apparently we got word that we have Aru is scolding Hamako for making Japanese players in the same group.
Yeah.
I don't make the rules. We don't make the rules, bro.
At least it was
Yeah, he's
Fudo,
trying to-
and it wasn't Kawano versus Sahara. You know what I mean? Or Pugera being a part of Good 8 squad.
I mean,
If there's a silver,
These are-
if there's a silver lining.
we stipulated the rules.
Pugera.
Ah, okay. Okay, Pugera, Dual Kevin in the same group. Okay, he'll take his chances there. Both of them will actually. in
Both of
that
them will, exactly.
round. Okay, you got to put Momochi.
All
in
that's
this
left is
group.
Momochi,
got me here
Kobayan, or
because
Ryukichi.
The Evo match that Angry Bird and Momochi had in 2024, I think, that was sensational. You've got to let him run it back, surely.
I personally want to see.
Okay, did he, where's he go? Talk to me. Talk to me.
You're
Momochi.
crazy. All right, no, now it's scripted. This guy's insane. So we do get the run back coming in from this year's Evo. I almost hit you with the Injanai. I almost did it, bro. You almost hit me. That's,
There we go.
yeah.
Apparently, apparently I'm gonna get.
Oh, there's
arrested
gonna be a
for
more
rigging.
that's why they're kick W and more friendly fire.
Yeah.
Gotcha-kun.
I think somebody's gonna be knocking on your door real soon. A couple of special agents. That is most certain. Make sure to hide all the rest of your cheesecakes.
Actually, I can give him up first. That's fine.
So the last two, obviously, Kobayan and Ryukichi. Kobayan
Kobayan.
is gonna be the
That
one filling in the
means
second offline slot
Ryukichi
for
in Group
G
H.
against Gachikun. Zangief versus Rashid. It didn't happen to Dual Kevin. It's now on Gachikun's lap. That's gonna be crazy to watch because Kobayan does a really good job against a lot of the Rashid players out in Japan.
Well, Zangief still like pretty much beats him pretty well or pretty convincingly, but I'm pretty sure Gachikun will be prepared as much as he can be. But Ryukichi, his name is there. He will be in the same group as one of the world's best. But Ryukichi is no slouch himself. I'll be very curious to see what matchup he'll go for because Lashard doesn't normally go for the Ed Mirror. He did go for it in a couple of times in SFL Japan.
It's all the
but he does have a
offline
carry in the back pocket. But as you
qualifiers
can
and
see, the CAPCOM Cup
stuff.
12 group draw. These are all your offline players
I
via
guess.
the automatic
Are they gonna
wins
start
or
with
the
Asia?
premier points or the special
Oceania
guests.
next.
They have now been allocated a group. And this is how it pans out thus far.
If you're looking at it from like a commentary perspective or an analyst perspective, like which is your group of death right now? Personally, I want to say possibly Group B, having Kawano and Fudo in it, both extremely heavy hitters. Possibly Group H, but Group A actually might just be the highlight. But it's so tough to say it because like Shanghai and Blaz have so much history within the last couple of days. But yeah, I think it has to be Group A, right?
For me,
A is
Group
scary,
but
F
very
is
close to
scary.
Group A is Group F. Angry
Yeah.
Bird and Momochi. Just because of the knowledge and just the technical prowess both those guys have at this kind of level here. Momochi hasn't been in the cup for a long time, so people might be unfamiliar with Momochi.
Do an
In fact, you can watch
EMEA
him.
next.
How often are you guys bumping into him? And when he really wants to get going, remember he's a CAPCOM Cup champion himself. People forget that with Momochi, right? So I think this guy's
This
ready.
is for
But
Punk's
now,
group.
We're going to my region next, so I'm going to watch my peoples suffer. Are they going to put Ending Walker in this group?
No, don't put Ending Walker in
Ending
this
Walker
group.
Or Joe? Ending Walker or Joe? Let me see. Talk to me.
Zerna.
Zerna, word.
Unfamiliar with them.
Okay.
That's pretty
Oh,
big.
that's the
all
My
things
Jury
considered.
player.
In terms of like the character selection, I'm already thinking about it. Like what Mai and Jerry. That's gonna be a tough one. I feel.
He'll
like.
have to pick. He'll have to pick Mai against Punk because Punk might go Cammy. Or he might
Up
even-
against
I would agree
Mickey
with
Lex.
Lex and Mickey. Haven't they played before? I'm almost certain these guys have played before on the big stage, but I'm gonna double check just in case.
It might have been Evo 2025, maybe Vegas. It might have been. I'm not particularly sure, but Hinau's gonna get a young gun. He has to. It'd be funny if it
So-
be Kills You or Ending Walker. That'd be funny.
Kills
Oh my
you.
Excuse me?
Yeah, so Young Guns in Group
Excuse me,
K.
jammers? Hey man, I don't know how much extra you're getting paid to call these brackets like that, but hey, stop, man. Can you keep it down?
Jammers is a knower.
You know what? I should just keep quiet. So keep quiet.
You probably should, man. Kind of treading some dangerous water. Even the producers just like kind of quiet on their end. They're just like, you know what? There's something wrong here.
Diver.
Diver coming in. The EMEA region.
Who they play? Ed.
Itabashi's
Portugal.
I feel like it's not
Spain
gonna be
and
too bad. I
Portugal
feel like how
region.
much practice does he have against Zangiefs would be the primary question in his region. Itabashi has all the Ed practice in the world, right? That's gonna be a very tough call for Diver. Personally, just off the rip, if I'm calling it like
Back
player,
to Group
not even just, like,
A.
player to player, just like matchup specific.
Uh-oh. Are we? Oh,
Yeah,
imagine
for
if Ending
sure.
Walker's in this.
Because
Please, no.
I think you'll relish in the moment.
And then
wanna
somebody in
relish the
chat,
challenge.
Ending Walker
That'd be
Group
pretty
A.
impressive
Come
to
on,
see.
no.
But again, all of
Ending
these guys
Walker
are
for
gonna come
A. Come on,
adequately
Ending
prepared.
Walker. No, not Ending Walker.
But who'll be
No.
joining Group A?
Okay. Oof.
Oh no, okay, we're done. We're done.
We're safe, we're safe, we're safe.
We're done. No, that's it. That's it. Guaranteed. It's got to be this group. It has to be this group.
Group A, man, is ridiculous.
Free. Oh my god, dude. Are you actually kidding me right now? What are we looking at, timers? Shanghai Blaz and Juicy Joe.
Ending Walker.
Oh. No
Talk to
way.
Kawano Fudo Ending Walker.
Group B sick too.
He's got an Akuma. Ed. He used to play Ed. He's very good against Akuma. I know Angry Bird did beat him in SFL EU, but he's got good knowledge against Akuma.
He's got the DJ as well coming in from Fudo just in case. And we've seen that even in like modern times. My man always about to slap Hamiko with like the production board in his hand. He's like, hey man, stop messing it up for everybody.
Well, I mean, I'm about to get hit by production myself, so me and Hamiko can go down together.
Big Bird. Oh, the group with Meta.
White Shimochi and Big Bird. Yo, even Group C is looking kind of spicy.
These are some
This is looking
crazy groups this year so
Looking
far.
long indeed. That's the word for it for sure. What is happening, jammers?
I'll tell you what.
Jobby M,
Oh no. Okay.
the lone Terry in the group.
And
I
now
actually love this for Jobby.
I can see it happening, but he's got a lot of work to do because I don't think they have an Ed in the South African region. Akuma, you learn trial by fire. It's the Ed I'm worried about, and he does play Terry as well. But Yon Angel will be joining.
Group E is a big toss-up.
Looks
Looks
gonna
like.
have to put on quite a show. Jill Kevin's got a JP, so you can't catch him by surprise. But Pugera, how ready is he for him?
That is probably the bigger question coming into it. I'm not too sure how many of the JPs he gets to like participate or like play off against, but there are like a handful of really, really solid JPs, obviously, and even some of the more like streams that you've been tuning into in Japan involve a lot of Japanese high-end players starting to transition over to JP recently, right? So now the question would be like, is John Angel going to be prepared for someone like a Dual Kevin?
All right, what's
someone
next?
Like a Pugera, who also
Central
has, like,
and
Cigar
South
in his
America
repertoire as well.
to finish out Group D.
Speaking of repertoire, the Central and South American players have got a repertoire of talent, let alone dangerous characters. But what is the first name Hamiko is going to pull out? I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to get in trouble. It's 3 strikes and you're out. I've had 2, so I got to be careful now.
Give me Shaka.
Shaka.
Oh God, I gotta go. I didn't. I wanted it. I wanted it because I wanted to see.
That's a wacky
the way,
group.
All right, listen, I got nothing.
You got
I got
Ed,
nothing.
All right,
Akuma,
Dalsum,
Dalsum, and Terry.
JP.
you can't. Right, I'm just saying. I'm just going to say to production. Come on. Nah, he's done it. He's done it now as well. Come on. It's only fair.
I've
that you
outed
take
myself.
a-
I should have. I'm just trying to soften the blow against you, bro. Listen, we wouldn't be friends if I didn't do this, right?
All right,
Kaba.
speaking of, we got Kaba here. Hold on. What? Okay. Ooh, oh my word. No.
Yeah, that group is a
way.
toss-up. I don't see any like clear like favorite.
That's a tough group for Kaba. That's actually a tough group. that's really tough. You got two JPs. You got
Group
Pugero,
F
who's pretty
next.
versatile. He's a solid player, but character-wise, the odds look against him.
I think Kevin's gonna be
got
opting
next?
for Rashid for that matchup specifically, right?
Kashi.
Oh, the DJ coming in. Tashi coming in for Group F against Angry Bird and Momochi. I don't know how I feel about that, genuinely. Going up against like Angry Bird and Momochi.
Momochi's got a good track record against DJ, no matter what character he plays. Angry Bird will instill his style, but I think Tashi will be pretty excited to actually relish in the challenge, regardless of the state.
misremembering?
Alright.
I felt like it was
Gachi-kun,
like the DJ that
Kobeon,
actually, like,
and
halted Momochi from winning Blink Respawn because of Fudo coming into it. But maybe I'm misremembering.
I'm not sure. We'd have to fact check that.
nah.
Not
Pedro.
Oh, you know what? He's got chances here. Because of his roster, he's got chances here. Only because he's added Sagat to the roster. He's actually got a good chance in this group. Not Pedro.
I can see that. I can see that for sure against Rashid. I think I like both of his characters going up against Rashid personally. This has to be. Although even Hamiko was kind of calling it right now. He's like, it has to be Lugabo, right?
Yeah, there you
Lugabo.
go. Oh, okay, right. Production, you have to get him as well. He called it before he pulled the name out. He's got the name in his hand.
Yeah,
Talk
that's
to your production, don't leave me
Hamiko
hanging.
is definitely in detention as well. So he's one of us. So that just leaves. So obviously Lugabo in the slot with Ryukichi and Lashar.
Arma
Obviously, Arma KOF is gonna be running
KOF.
against Punk and Zerna.
Alright,
Really
Punk.
now.
These are like good chances for you to make it out that group.
Do you know what? He can surprise that group with the names in there. And just going what you said about his style before, I'm a KOF. I can see him causing an upset or really being a ripple in the waves, and especially because the format has changed from last year. Remember, a lot of these guys have second lifelines. So
Yeah. Having that DJ in the mix is also going to be quite entertaining to see it against like Punk and Zerna.
do you know what Hamako should have done? He should have juggled those three because they're three pots.
Knuckle
right?
Dude,
He tried to
Just the
juggle them
Kid,
pick
and
a name
Chris
from there. That
T.
would've worked. Oh,
Christy.
That is sick.
Mickey, Lex, and Christy.
That is sick.
Yo, what's crazy is so just right off the cuff, right? Lex is gonna have mad intel coming in against Christitarian just because of JB by default, right? Because like JB had to face off against him in like one of the grand finals of like World Warrior and consistently play off against him even before the finals, right?
Knuckle Dude.
He now kills you
Oh.
with Knuckle Dude.
Wait. Hold on. Hold the phone. These two were in the same group last year. I swear these two were in the same group last year.
That means
You are correct.
Just a Kid,
Yeah, Knuckle Dude and Kills You were in Group G last
Ethazon,
year.
and Diver.
There we go.
What happened? What happened, guys?
Oh, mate.
He has
And
to
then,
do
of
it
course,
again.
Our last name. Yeah. And then I'm getting too excited for this. And then our last name, Jack. He's going to be in the same group as Diver and Itabashi Zangief. Now, he wasn't able to make it out of his group last year, Jack, but with the odds here, Marisa, Geef, Ed, he's got a Mai part of the repertoire as well. I think these are good odds for Jack.
I feel like, again, Diver being like the dark horse of the group, just for me personally, just based off of like the amount of times I've been able to like watch him play, I can have some confidence in Jack, but Diver might just give him like the
Alright, this is the scary stuff.
All right, this will seal the deal. If VX Bao or Higuchi gets put into this group, that
Dude,
seals the
imagine
deal
Higuchi's in
on
there.
this group being the most deadliest group ever. If it does it. He's got a name. Talk to me.
Hot dog.
Ooh, dodged it.
Still a
Dodged it
tough
little
group.
bit.
That's still a pretty scary group, though.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Hot Dog was a part of Group A last year. He had to face off against like Takamura, Phenom, Salvatore, Punk, and Itabashi. but still pretty damn difficult. Ending Walker Fudo and Kawano. Dear Lord.
I'm pretty sure. I think any of those names. Do you know they might want to be there? I don't know. Maybe they do want to be there. I'm not saying they don't want to. I don't want to be there, but maybe these guys do. But...
I actually want to see Higuchi in Group C.
Bravery.
Bravery.
Is this the Cammy player? Forgot. Yeah.
You know what? They have to pay attention. They have to stay switched on, all of them. That's not like you can't sleep at this dude now, especially in these environments. He's actually well suited, similar to Noah. Very suited for these environments. You're not gonna have a clean break of trying to get out of that group. So Bravery being in Group B, I kind of like the outcome of Group B there. That's pretty good.
I'm getting old. I definitely skipped over. Dakorgi going into Group C.
Dakorgi.
Oh my God!
It makes
no
sense.
way.
C for C.
Oh,
Viper.
so this is
I love
they
that.
said this is the crazy Sea
Against
Viper
NRD,
from Korea.
against YXimochi, which I feel is I feel like it's great for Viper. Big Bird, how much has he been practicing up against his character?
Viper versus Blanca, I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of Viper versus Sim either, especially against one of the best Sims in the world. He's got his work cut out for him.
Kincho.
Do it, but Kincho, he is going to be wow. Group Group F. Momochi, Angry Bird, Tashi, and Kincho. That is going to be a group to watch. If it's not Group A, like I said, it's got to be Group F. That's got to be a group you got to be lazing in on in terms of a group of death.
Skipping over to the rest of the groups, Group G. For Gatsukun, Kobeon, not Pedro.
They should put Travis Styles in Group I.
Jiwa. Damn it.
Wow.
VX Bow.
Oh. Okay.
Group G kind of scary
You know
too.
what? Now that group's actually done, you look
That's
at
quite
that
the mix
group
of a
now.
group. Let's see, Rashid from Gachikun, Kobeon Zangief, not Pedro with Ken Sagat, and then VX Bao. He has shown off the Bison over at SFL. Ed and Mai.
Oh, yeah, that's Group G's a tough one. It's a tough one. Who's gonna join Group H though? Lashar. It will be
Travis Styles.
coming in. Listen, if you thought his looks could kill, so could his gameplay.
As
But
long as it's not
it's gonna
Higuchi.
be
Do not put
in
Higuchi in
a
Group
tough
I.
Group there because Kimberly, he's gonna have a lack of knowledge on how that guy plays. Lugabo. Ryukichi and Lashar, there's plenty of information out there, but it doesn't mean you're gonna be ready for
No
the
Higuchi.
exam.
Not
The experience is the best
Higuchi.
teacher. The test first, the
It's
lesson later.
Higuchi.
I was gonna say a side note. There were some instances against Lashar and Ryukichi against Goichi's Chun-Li, so there is some homework out there for Travis Styles to brush up on. But going into Group I, however, Higuchi filling out the final slot for Punk, Zerna, and Arma. That's I want to say that's also a pretty well-rounded group, not even in terms of like players, but also like character selection.
No way. That's another tough group we're looking at. Group J, because Rain Pro has been reigning supreme in Hong Kong or in East Asia. That's how he qualified here. And that group
Guiles.
is two Guile. Somebody was going to get two Guiles.
The
in that
double
group.
guile.
And it is going to be Chris and Mickey here as well. But then who's going to be one of the last names remaining? Raihan is going to be joining him now. Kills you. And Knuckle Dude.
The modern Elena.
Scared of a modern Elena at all, or he's gonna bring a Jamie, because if this guy works on his Jamie, he could cause an upset in that group there. But then that
Modern
means,
Jamie, modern Elena.
yeah, you're right, modern all over.
And that's it.
Jiwa rounding out the final group, Group L. Jiwa joining Itabashi, Zangief, Diver, and Just a Kid coming in with that Mai. I'm actually quite impressed seeing Jiwa in the mix again, right? I loved seeing him around in the Street Fighter 4 era, and I love seeing him make it to CAPCOM Cup that one time, and now that he's fully in force with that Mai, I think he's going to give Group O a pretty hard time. It's hard to predict with the limited amount of information up on against Jiwa, but I gotta say, man,
Group A and
he's turned out to
B,
be
scary.
quite crazy. Group A, Shanghai, Blaz, Hot Dog, Juicy Joe. That is quite the picnic, Jammers.
Group B's a toss-up.
Yeah. Group A.
Could see some upsets in F.
Group F.
Go back.
Like, there's so many different groups and titans in these games, or in the competitive environment. I'm just glad it's not just like one group. It's like 4 or 5 groups who are like, oh, like, yo, this group's gonna be pretty difficult to call. Who's going to emerge victorious? Who's even going to make it to phase 2? We're looking at right now what's happening, because remember, in day 1, we're going to be getting our ensured 12 players advancing to the top 16 before we go into the phase 2 in the last stages of the CAPCOM Cup. But now, this is the fixtures. Now, I've said this about... let me see
So you get to see who plays against who first.
Round robins and these different formats, but there's always a deciding match that decides the group, if that makes sense. Where when it's a group of death, it's harder to call because all the matches matter, but there's always 1 or 2 defining matches that go, okay, this is going to change the whole system. But we need to see who's going to be stepping up first. Now, Zhao Hai and Juicy Joe were in the same group last year. They have played. I think Zhao Hai beat Joe 2-1, and he used Mai. And I think that's when Mai was still fairly fresh, and Joe didn't have a lot of experience in that matchup at the time. I think that's
That is correct. That is correct. Xiao Hai had also taken down like Knuckle Dew as well, but Juicy Joe took down like Kaba. He took the two Guile players down. Kaba, Knuckle Dew. He took down Nephew as well, so... And he also had to face off against Kills Dew. But yeah, no, you're right. Xiao Hai and Juicy Joe being in the same group again is a very exciting thing. What happens if it's like... There's 2 prospects here. Either Xiao Hai Blaz, Xiao Hai Juicy Joe. The only fresh thing that would come up would be like Xiao Hai Hot Dog that we haven't really seen as often, but I'm sure you could see it within like the Asia region, surely.
No, that's true. Also,
Group
as well, don't forget
A.
UFA to make the top 8. It was either the top 8 or in the it was in the top 8. Blaz beat Juicy Joe as well, so Joe's got actually 2 people he can run it back with in offline environments in a regular season or a high stakes CAPCOM event here. So you know, I think when Joe wakes up, I think he'll be a little bit shocked, but I think he'll be he's gonna wake up to this, by the way, because we're in Europe. He's gonna wake up to this.
I'm happy that you said that, because if I were to stay awake to watch this, I wouldn't be able to sleep.
No.
Zhao Hai.
That's the 3rd time he's been
They're doing
picked
this on
first,
Don't
man.
They're actually doing this
put
on
Zhao
purpose.
Hai against Blaz.
It's the 3rd time he's been picked first. Come on, man. Now we await his fate. Who he has to face off against. Here the first match, Group A, Phase 1.
Hot dog, hot dog, hot dog.
Give me, you know what, Jammers? Give me Blaz. Let's go!
Wow.
That, you know what? Y'all can fire me now if you want, but that's kind of godlike. Tell me that's not godlike, Jammers. We get the run back from the most recent set.
No. Blaz is on the other one. Blaz is on the other side.
Oh, he's on the
I'm
other
pretty
one.
sure Blaz is on the other side.
Okay.
Yeah, he's on the other side.
Okay. So they bamboozled me. They let me keep my job. They said, you know what? We're actually putting him in match 2. Okay, so now that we know the format, my mistake. I thought it was pick 1, pick their matchup, go into match 2, pick 1, pick their matchup. That's what my impression was. I see. Xiao Hai Juicy Joe, I'm sure you're ecstatic about that. Blaz versus Hot Dog.
I don't know who he's. Yeah, I don't know who Hot Dog's gonna pick, because they both have Sagat at their disposal. I don't see a Sagat mirror happening. They're gonna do something else. Zhao Hai versus Juicy Joe. I can see Mai versus JP happening again. Joe's been working on another character. I don't know if he'll actually bring them out here, but I think he's confident in his JP play. But again, I think the fans will want to see Zhao Hai versus Blaz match number 3, and then whoever wins that advances to the top 16 winners side there as well. But then it's curious to see who's actually going to make it into phase 2, to be honest with you, because any of these guys can make it out of the group winners side, and any of these guys can make it out of the group into the phase 2. So I think Group A is literally up in arms there. So I have no qualms with those matchups. It's just a question mark of who's going to make it out.
I agree with you. Going into Group B with Kawano. Speaking of which, first name called up
Kawano
match 1, filling
first.
that slot. Kawano, Fudo, Bravery, and Ending Walker. Who's going to face off against Kawano's Akuma? Now, again, he's been mad sturdy throughout the entirety of his
Ending
performance with
Walker.
the 8 squad in SFL Japan. But on the other side of the bracket, is he okay? Okay. If it's Fudo? Okay. Well,
Hold on.
pretty fortunate for those two, right? Being separated in the bracket.
Yeah,
Well,
you've
is it
called it
fortunate,
twice
though?
now. Maybe you've called them twice. You've called these names twice now. Stop it. Which means
Ending Walker.
You like this
okay.
You like this one for sure. I think this is the matchup that I feel like you wanted to happen in terms of like Ending Walker's like comfort zone. Matchup knowledge.
It was Kawano or Fudo. I wanted him to fight, and I think he's excited to fight a lot of these people at the highest level. Bravery versus Fudo. I don't think that's ever happened. I'm not sure if that's actually happened before. No, I don't think so.
Not that I recall. Bravery versus Fudo. I'd have to double check.
That's a big match.
But still
dude.
solid nonetheless.
big
In regards to like the style that Bravery likes to play. One of the kind of similar play styles, not like quite 1-to-1, but you kind of think about Akira, the Kami player from Japan. He did have to face off against Fudo a handful of times too. In like, not even just League, but in general. I'd imagine that would be like the closest thing that Fudo has for that type of practice.
Yeah, no, you know what? That's actually a very good point that you bring up for Group B. But Group C, Big Bird will be the first name to be put on the fixture sheet. But then we will find out his opponent very shortly as we find out who's going to be match 2 kicking it off. Is it going to be Mena RD? No, it will be Dak Corgi with the Viper here. Now, either way, he's avoided Rashid. That will probably be his ideal pick character-wise, maybe. But we're going to see where the Bulls, the Evo Japan and Evo Vegas champion, where is he going to be placed? That's the real question here. Wyatt Mochi. Don't sleep on that Dalsum either, but it is going to be Mochi that comes out, and he will be going up against... That's bad odds. Character-wise, that's bad odds, but I'm pretty sure he's played enough received in Japan to have a wealth of experience to understand what to do next. Yeah, that's true. That's true. A former teammate.
I mean, he can still play Gachikun. They're still teammates, kind of, you know?
Okay.
Mena RD. You talked about this too. Blanca going up against C-Viper. I haven't had like the luxury of being able to watch that matchup too often. I've only played it on ranked, but now I get to see like it's more so in the hands of like Duck Corgi to really make the champ sweat, right?
You know what? I couldn't have articulated it better myself. It's actually going to be a very good or opportunistic moment for Dak Corgi. I think he'd be excited to do it as well. And this is the thing. When you're in these kind of environments, the seeding's doing it for you. Half the work's done. Now you get to laser in on who you have to practice against so he can study up on Blanca as much as possible if he brings out Blanca. But moving on to Group D now, Sahara, the first name to step out. This kid has been going from strength to strength, been streaming a lot more. He's got an Akuma, but I think he's just going to stick with Ed throughout this tournament as well. One of my friends from secondary school is actually a massive fan of watching Sahara play this game. So I'm actually going to let him know that, hey, you want to stay up and watch this man play. And it will be NL going to be on match 2 on the other side. Sahara, maybe he might take his... Sahara would like either of these players, you know. I'm not going to lie to you. Sahara might actually like either of these players.
I think he would like Shaka a little bit more, and he does get it. He does indeed get it, right? A lot of Dalsum practice, he's a lot of dots of practice, but also a lot of actual like real life games in SFL. Shaka going into this though, he's got some really interesting looks in regards to that matchup specifically. I think Shaka can upset Sahara. I think there's a possibility for that.
No, that's very true. Now, obviously, JBM will be the last name here. He'll be going up against NL. Now, there was a match he had against Angry Bird. I think it was day 3 or day 4 SFL EU. It did not look particularly good, but that was Evo champion going up against South Africa's finest player here. He's got plenty of knowledge. He's very astute when it comes to studying. I've seen his YouTube channel, JBM, and how he looks at things and how he studies. He's going to have to go on Replay Takeover on NLCFN and really study up here. But I think if he does his homework right and understand NL's tendencies, I think he can take that one against NL, at least for the first match anyway.
Moving on to Group E, Yon Angel, the first one picked for the match is set for him. Gonna be the JP filling up that spot. On the other side of the bracket, we're gonna find out who's filling in that spot. I don't even know who I would want separated, honestly. I wouldn't want to see dual Kevin versus Cabo. I really would not want to see that in terms of like the matchup spread that we've seen throughout the season. So dual Kevin on the other side, match 2, there is that possibility. Did I just jinx it, Jammers?
You've done it too much now. You can't be allowed in lottery streams. You just this is your gacha coming out. I know it's your gacha coming out. Oh no, I did not want that to happen. Oh, mate. Okay, Guile JP. Actually, you know what? No, you know what? Cabo might want that. I think Yona Angel's happy character-wise, but I think Cabo will want to take his chances there against Yona Angel. He's probably seen how he qualified for the cup, but Pugera, we've gone up against dual Kevin, and he's got an array of characters there. But the thing is, dual Kevin's not just strictly Rashid anymore, so the big question mark is here. Who is more appropriate for someone like Pugera? Because I said this when we were at EWC, Pugera is like a special case, a dark horse for me. In terms of what he comes with at these big events,
I don't know if I should be still watching this. I'm like, got bored after the initial group stage.
It was still a fairly new season.
Couldn't help it took him an hour to get to it.
So we're actually going to see, and remember, I see.
I'm trying to think what I should do after this. Probably deadlock. I don't know.
Environments, not in these individualistic events. Now we're bringing him back into the 1v1, the real competitive events. So it'll be very interesting to see how Pugera fares.
While they're drawing names, I'll get some water and
going into Group F, the first person picked out Kincho,
we're back.
The most recent player to qualify into CAPCOM Cup towards the end of that regional final for Japan, coming in with that Terry. Now, obviously, I don't think he'd want to face off against Momochi. He'd rather, I don't even know if he'd want to pick Angry Bird, honestly, or Tashi, but I'd imagine he doesn't want to face off against his countrymen, which he won't. Momochi is going to be solidified into the second part of the matchup in the other half of the bracket.
Okay, so who is going to be going up against Kincho? Kincho versus Angry Bird might be pretty interesting. Hey, here you go.
You gotta stop doing it.
I think that'd be a pretty. I think that'd be a pretty interesting match to see because again, Kincho qualified via the regional final, as Vicious mentioned earlier. He got a beat down from Blaz not too long ago in that 5-0 in the Chinese online tournament. So Gap versus Terry. He's going to have to be working pretty hard there, but Tashi will be going up against Momochi. Now, I said Momochi, from what I've seen on online replays, he has got a very good track record against DJ in general, no matter what character he picks. So hopefully Tashi will take that into consideration and come prepared accordingly. This is what Group F for Phase 1 is going to be looking like here, Vicious. What we thinking? Any more comments on this one?
I just hope that Momochi had learned from the last time he faced off against DJ coming in from Blink Respawner, right? We saw Fudo do the dance on him as soon as he won that ticket into CAPCOM Cup. But will Tashi bring something new, right? Obviously, I think he's going to be the biggest highlight for me going into that group because I want to see like how he fares off against some of the veterans. Some of the veterans, one of them being Momochi.
All right, so on to Group G now with Gachikan leading the charge. You couldn't ask for a better deal. Group G, and of course his name starts with a G here. Now, if you separate Kobian, That'd be interesting. But then, not Pedro.
It's not Pedro.
Will be. Yeah, well, I mean, that's his name. We're not saying it's not Pedro. That's not going to be in match number 1. But we're going to see.
Shut up, man. I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about it. You got me.
It's nearly 4 in the morning over here.
Don't do it to him. Don't do it to Kobeon. VX Bao is going to be the guy facing off against Gotsuku. Now, I don't know how I actually feel about this one. In regards to like VX Bao's history against like some of the Rashid players out here. Or even in some of the Rashid players he has to face off in the States. Kobeon filling in that 4th slot against not Pedro.
You gotta think though, this kind of
You know what?
pointless because everyone's gonna play against
Kobeon's
everybody
ready. I can
anyways.
see like Kobeon's ready for anything and everything in these kind of environments, these high octane environments. So I think
I guess it's just for prep.
Pedro
It's you know who
picks
you're up
and also
against like
Sagat
right
will
away.
Be ready. I think statistically speaking, Sagat's the better pick, but he could surprise him with a Ken. Who knows?
And that's a matchup I feel like is that's a matchup that Kobeon's been kind of like going through the ringer for like numerous seasons now, right? There's so much data on him and Ryukichi from even events outside of Capcom Pro Tour stuff in general, right? So I think Sagat would have to be the pick.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Now moving on to Group H, Lashar will be the first name out of the 4 names of the draw. Here, obviously qualified via combo breaker. He's had multiple.
Dude, throw in Lugabo and we'll get some Travis Styles. Actually, Ryukichi. Let's get Travis Styles versus Lugabo.
The Street Fighter League Japan win tacked onto his individual performances, and then Travis Styles.
Oh no,
will
that's
be
for 3. That's for
separated
3.
from him there as well, which means
So
Travis
Lashar
Styles
could
has
go
the
up against
opportunity
Ryukichi.
to fight Lugabo, the Kimberly. We're gonna see where he
Or
goes
even-
here.
Or maybe even like the mirror with Ryukichi, right? Okay, well, the 2 L's coming into match 1, Lashar versus Lugabo. Kimberly versus the Ed. I'm actually mad excited to see that. If Lashar can keep up with the pace that Lugabo sets for himself most of the time in his matches. But Travis Styles versus Ryukichi, is it going to actually be the My Mirror?
I can see that. I could definitely see that happening. Because I think Mai has a pretty decent time against Chun-Li. Despite like Chun-Li actually being kind of slept on as a character, but she's still fairly decent. But Mai is one of the best, one of the most used characters in the game at the moment. Super popular. So I can see Travis Styles just having to stick to, you know, to the book with this one and just going with the Mai pick his best option. Ryukichi, he can actually switch it up if he wants to, with the Ed or the Mai himself. But again, the number 1 priority for all these guys is to get into the final day winner's side for the top 16.
Going into Group I, Higuchi in the first slot of match 1, rocking that Guile. Who would I not want to see him play against? Actually,
Okay,
Arma's
Hunk
gonna be filling up
avoids.
the other side of the bracket. Go ahead, Jammers.
Oh, never mind.
I mean, that answers half your question.
Oh, it's a 50-50.
Okay, whether he's going to be on the other half. So, I mean, but have I seen Punk versus Higuchi? I know Zerna's never been in the cup.
Zerna. Ah!
Thank you. I haven't.
That's crazy.
In a Capcom Cup environment, no, because Higuchi hasn't been there. But I don't know if they've actually faced each other in offline. They probably have.
That's a tough call. I'm not too sure. But he has a pretty solid record against Giles overall. Zerna's going to be filling in that spot up against Arma. That's the matchup I kind of want to look forward to in regards to like seeing how those 2 players play in general, rather than like the character matchup itself.
Yeah.
Considering they haven't really been into like the big dance. I mean, obviously Higuchi has not really been in there for Street Fighter 6 before, but we've seen him in a slew of different top tier events. Arma, KOF, and Zerna representing themselves pretty well, but them having to face off against each other off the rip, kind of a rough spot.
Well, this is another group I want people to kind of pay attention to, be laser focused on, because the names here are heavy hitters. Even if your name gets called out first, it don't matter. Any opponent you have in this group is going to be such a mountainous task. And Rain Pro will be the first name to sit in that slot for match number 1. But who will be opposite with him and potentially meet him in the winners final to progress through the winner's side for the top 16?
I'm not too sure if Rain Pro actually plays out a lot of the mirror matches, or if he'll have like a Bison for that. I don't even know if it's something he would choose that matchup for specifically. But we'll see how that plays out. Rain Pro being the first one. In match number 2 on the other side, it is Chris Tatarian. Okay. I don't know who we'd rather face off against.
Tricky. Yeah, that's tricky. Because Lex, he can talk to JB, as you mentioned before. That's actually valuable information. Mickey can just pick Mai here, and oh, that's tricky. It's gonna be
Guile versus Guile.
Or tell you what, he could pick. He's got a Bison. He's got a Bison. He's actually been prepping. He's been prepping a Bison. He's got pretty decent Bison. So if he wanted to whip out Bison here, but Rain Pro, I think Rain Pro still dabbles with Cammy. I'm not sure. I don't think he'd bring out Cammy here, but.
And that rounds out Mickey for Chris Tatarian, which is something that he's very much so like okay with. For Mickey, I think any of the Ken players that he gets to play off in his region is something to keep him confident. But there's just something specific about Chris Tatarian in regards to like his adaptation towards players, like his meticulous spacing, that he's kind of like set the stage with. Or he's actually gone like above and beyond with to make it to the big dance. I actually kind of wonder if Chris is going to be able to adapt to Mickey fast enough.
Yeah, but that's a good thing, because I think, just going back on the Mickey point, I think some people actually mentioned Mickey's probably one of the fastest players in terms of adaptation, so that's actually going to be pretty interesting. But Rain Pro versus Lex, that's definitely one we can't rule out for sure. But quickly moving on to Group K, another interesting group with Hinao, Kills You, Knuckledoo, and Raihan. It is Kills You coming out ahead first, so he'll actually be the first match in this group to set the pace of things. He's been at CAPCOM Cup last year. He was gallivanting the world with Crimson. He was part of Crimson's team in SFL EU. He's got a wealth of experience now on the international stage, so we'll be here. But who's gonna be separated from him? It's gonna be Knuckledoo.
Right. You could say a lot about Knuckledoo, right? Former CAPCOM Cup champion. I want to say like not as much like world traveled, because he does have like a family. He'll pick and choose some of his spots to participate in some of the big CPT events around the world when he can. But still, very curious to see who's going to face off against. Kills You versus Hinao. You talk about
young versus
a world
young
warrior from one end from Kills You, and the man who barely leaves the stoop from out of nowhere. Yo, Hinao coming in, taking down Kwai Shao Fight Club. I like this.
Oh mate, that's crazy, which means that Knuckledoo will have to go up against our modern user in Raihan. This is going to be interesting here. Elena, Jamie, and Luke as part of the character roster. I think Knuckledoo will take his chances. Ever since he went full-time Mai, he hasn't really looked back. I know he dabbles with 1 or 2 other characters, but I think he'll be looking to take his chance. There. Kills You versus Hinao. That might be one of the matches to look out for throughout the day on day 1. If they're going to do one of those prediction brackets we do at the start of the day, that's going to be one of the matches you don't want to miss. Kills You versus Hinao. And it's all best of 5 territory as well. So they've got an extended period of time to really sink their teeth into some of these matchups.
Oh, man.
this last group, right?
I see Aru already kind of talking about it, like Inabashi versus Diver being a possibility. But it's going to be Jack first, going in with that jury. But he's also been picking up a lot of different characters as well. Obviously, we saw him not too long ago. I forgot which stream it was, but I think he's also a part of Genesis. I think he was there. But either way, Jiwa on the other side, though. So, Aru doesn't get his wish. Not Inabashi versus Diver.
Diver. It looks like, yeah, it looks like Diver is the pick. So it will most likely be Ed versus Mai. Most likely. And do you know what? That's actually good for him because he's actually pretty good. He's on pretty good speaking terms or friends with Zerna. Zerna plays Mai, so Diver can practice with Zerna before they leave. So.
And then, on the other hand, like Jiwa, I feel like he's on kind of an interesting position. I don't know how many Zangiefs he gets to face off against, but Itabashi, he had to go through like all of them in Street Fighter League every single week. So that's going to be quite contentious, I feel like, more so for... Actually, yeah, I feel like even so, no matter what my Itabashi has to face off against, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, right?
No, of course, and like he's been extremely ferocious with his Marisa training as of recent, so he might bring out Marisa for that one, but he's gonna have to mix it up and be as prepared as can be because again, he's got a massive fan base out in Japan as well. Itabashi Zangief is really looking forward to that. But then you can see it there. That is
so I think that's it.
Draw for Group L, but then you can see right here. You can see how it will work, or the potential scenarios that can happen here as well.
So it is a mix of different players, right? It's not going to be like the same players within the group, right? In phase one, it's going to consist of Group A to C for that first batch of players. I like that, actually.
This is the phase 2 round right now, by the way. Sorry,
that's right.
I'm looking at the top of the screen, of course. Because phase 2 is super important, and obviously the 4 players will advance to the top 16 final, and then that will round out our top 16 leading up to the grand finale there as well. Plenty of players, plenty of groups, lots of numbers. So if you're good at maths or you're not so good at maths, you're gonna have fun calculating some stuff anyway. But we'll have one of these guys. But remember, in phase 2, only one player can emerge from each of the groups there as well. So in the phase 1, it's 2, one winner. Sorry, one winner will go to the final. One winner, the loser will go to phase 2, and then from the phase 2 part, which is still best of 5, only one player can emerge victorious. And there's one less player there as well, because technically from phase 1, a player will have been eliminated, or players would have been eliminated.
Yeah, and you can see it. I mean, just looking at the graphic, there's going to be 4 different groups going into phase number 2, and each of the people that have qualified from that double elimination bracket will be put into these respective groups, right? The first group of Group A is going to be the ones coming in from phase 1, A through C, and then going forward, the rest of the letters, etc., etc. It leads into the top 16 final. And that's going to be happening, I do believe, on towards Sunday.
Sunday's the final day for SFL Worlds. I think SFL Worlds is the final day.
I think that's pretty much it. They've done all the main things.
That was my mistake.
This should be the right. Well, we're gonna get word from.
That's right.
I'll probably get out of here.
Just a minute.
I was thinking about playing some Deadlock, but
we need to
I'll just save that for next week.
Ourselves. So yeah, on day 4, March 14th, CAPCOM Cup final tournament. Day 5, March 15th, SFL.
They might do the SFL stuff.
Keep myself up from last year.